And she's probably being threatened. But anyway, no. My boy is 24 years old, and he is married. He got out of college. He met his college sweetheart his freshman year. He said he would never marry young, but he did, and he brought her home. And all right, who in here has had boys and girls? Can you clap? Who do you think's easier to raise? I mean, just yell it out. Boys or girls? Boys. Boys. Every once in a while, a little frail woman will yell, "Girl." And she's probably being threatened. But anyway, no. We love our girls. I love my girls. I truly do. And I know that when I'm in the nursing home, they'll be the ones to come and pluck my chin hairs. Because my boy will be off with his wife and her people. Because he said to me, he brought her home and he said, "You got a terrible look on your forehead." And I said, "Oh, it's nothing against her. It's just I'm jealous because I thought you would only love me." I know that's twisted. I know it is. But he was the best thing that ever happened to me. All right, my kids all yell at me, and my husband, everybody's in a bad mood all the time, and he's the only one that's never fussed at me. And he was just the sweetest child growing up. And so when he said he was going to marry somebody and move off, it was awful. But let me say that I love her. And they live near us. And she's like another child to me. And it has been a blessing. She is very sweet and has forgiven me for my forehead looks. But anyway, but he said to me right before they got married, he goes, "Mom, she's going to be my immediate family. You're now my extended family." He said, "Mom, that's biblical." I thought, why did I show him the Bible? Let me tell y'all about him. He's an old soul. Have you ever met anybody that was an old soul? He was born an 80-year-old man. He has had a garden since he was in 6th grade. He plays the mountain dulcimer and the banjo. He woodworks. He makes spoons. He makes spoons. I mean, he is so yummy. All right, his favorite music is gospel bluegrass. His favorite, no. Okay. Ding-a-ding-a-ding. All right. His favorite artist was Dr. Ralph Stanley. Dr. Ralph, look at you. Look at you. Knowing who Dr. Ralph Stanley is. Okay, for those of you who don't, he was on the Oh Brother Where Art Thou. That is probably the most famous thing he did. But he was the godfather of Mountain Soul. He ended up dying at like 92. He had a little cowboy hat propped on his head. Yummy. Okay, he would come through Knoxville, and I would take my son to see Dr. Ralph when my son couldn't drive. They propped little Dr. Ralph up on stage because he was so old. I almost threw my panties at him because that's what you do to Tom Jones. And I love him. But anyway, I was standing there listening to Dr. Ralph Stanley singing gospel bluegrass, and I think to myself, how many teenage boys are listening to this? What are teenage boys listening to? Rihanna, Waka Flocka Flame, some of that nasty goings on. I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I had to yell at my boy, "Turn that gospel bluegrass down. You're out of control." If I hear "I Saw the Light" one more time. My second baby is my oldest daughter, who's about to graduate from the University of Tennessee. She's 22, and let me tell y'all, I know every crow thinks theirs is the blackest, but let me say that she is a beauty. And she is smart, and she's done very well in school, and she's in a sorority and done well with her sorority, and she's athletic, and she's mean. And we're scared to death of her. We walk on eggshells around her. She's not mean to other people or in public. she holds it in so that she can come home and like spew it out onto me. That's okay. That's God's way. But this is what I think happens. When she was a junior, her summer between her junior and senior year, I think that God allows this to happen. And you little girls, that your babies aren't this old, just listen to me. All right, one day they'll just turn on you. And you'll think, who in the world is this? Who's coming down the steps in the morning? We don't know who this is. I think that God allows that because He knows that you're about to let your baby go off to college or whatever they're going to do, and He knows that you're grieving. So He makes them just as mean as He can so that you can let them go. And I believe that. That summer, the very breath that I breathed out of my nostrils made her so angry. We were not allowed to eat cereal in our own home because she couldn't stand to hear us chew. I don't mean to talk about her because she had a lot on her. She had to empty the dishwasher. Stuff like that. That's so hard. Okay, let me tell you about an example when she was probably your baby's age, y'all's little children, because y'all are so cute. Look, their thyroid's still functioning. Y'all still got hair. Good for y'all. Y'all got on little breeches. Yay. Okay. When my middle one, when she was in elementary school, I was so blessed that I got to take them to school and pick them up every day in my minivan. And I would watch them come out, my girls, and I saw them. They were in a good mood. I saw it. All right, they would be goosing each other and waving to all the little children and the principal. See you tomorrow. Okay. Then they'd come over to my minivan, get in, slam the door. That middle one would take her backpack and sling me in the back of the head with it. She'd say every day something like, I'm starving to death. You don't have a piece of cheese in this car? Your driving's making me car sick. I hate her. Why did you have her? And the baby be sitting over the back, she'd be going, Mom, 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 Mom. And I'd say, what? And she'd go, Mom, 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 Mom. I go, what? I'm listening. She could say some of the craziest things. She said to me one day, did Jesus ever have head lice? How do you answer that? I said, well, baby, I don't know. But if he did, I know he healed it.
But you can't say anything about it. Because they'll just walk right up to you and be like, you're ugly, and then walk away. Right? And you just got to stand there like, adorable. He's so cute. I just want to hug him around the neck. He's adorable. But when you think about it, you know what I mean? That kid isn't trying to mess with you. Like, if that kid said you're ugly, it's because he genuinely thinks you're ugly. But like, so ugly, he had to stop whatever he was doing and inform you of the situation. Like, he was doing something and he was like, no, put the Legos away. What is that? Get it fixed. What's wrong with you? I can barely keep my Lunchables down, guys. The last time I was insulted by a kid, I was in church. I am a churchgoer. What? Yeah, praise him. All right. Yay. And of course, so we're in the basement of the church, and it's a Latino church, so it's like someone's house. They put a T on it, and we just... So they're serving food, because it's Latino church. And my boyfriend's niece is sitting across from me, and I get up to go get food, and she goes, Gina, are you gonna get pasta? And I'm like, no, sweetheart, I think I'm gonna get a salad. And she goes, good, because you're not so skinny anymore. I know, so I was like, hey, you're not supposed to say stuff like that. And literally, without skipping a beat, she goes, maybe I'm joking. I would have been mad, but she started hysterically laughing at her own joke. Like it was the funniest thing she'd ever seen. Like, she said it, and it was like little baby tears started streaming down her face. And that just made me laugh until little baby tears were streaming down my face. So you can't be authoritative after that moment happens. Plus, that's one of my other favorite things about kids, is that, remember when you were a kid and you would just laugh, right? You didn't stop yourself, you weren't embarrassed, you weren't ashamed. Like if someone fell, you laughed in their face. The second they fell, you're like, haha, you're stupid. Walk much, right? You just laughed at it. You did not, like now, as a grown-up, when someone falls, you're like, oh my God, are you okay? And then you turn around and go, did you see that? That was amazing! Oh my God! Not like now. See, I still have that. I have the sense of humor of a 4-year-old. I do everything kids think is funny, I think is funny too. Like, I still think farts are the funniest thing on the planet. Thank you, me and like 6 people. Really? Really, a room full of grown folk? You're gonna sit here and act like you've never been in the bathroom, someone cut one, and you tried not to laugh? Yeah, there we go, there we go. That is a universal situation. Don't be afraid of the ties that bind us. I'll prove to you that farts are still funny. I was recently at a buffet. Don't judge me. We've already discussed this. I'm a foodie. Buffets are like carnivals for foodies. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you show up at a buffet, you're like a little kid. You're like, oh my God, there's food everywhere. There's steak and bacon-wrapped shrimp and a salad bar for some reason. Every time I see someone at a salad bar at a buffet, I just want to take their plate away and go, get out. Don't you mock us with your salad eating. So I'm at this buffet, right? And I go to the bathroom. It's me, this woman in the middle stall, and a lady and her 4-year-old daughter. Really cute little girl, right? Now, the woman in the middle farted. Wait for it, because here's the important part. It wasn't one that you could get past. See? All of a sudden, you all know what I'm talking about, right? Why? Because normally when it happens, it's a little sound, and you're like, she didn't know that was coming. Yeah, that was a surprise to everybody involved. And you know she didn't know, because the second it happened, she was like, Jesus. She got startled. But this, no. This was an I ran to the bathroom because I didn't know what was gonna follow this. And we've all been there too. Where like 1 second you're talking to somebody and the next you're like, I gotta get out of here like right now. This is not safe for anyone. Because it went on for like 2 minutes, that's an ungodly amount of time. Can we just discuss, guys? After 30 seconds, call a doctor. What did you eat? It's dangerous now. It's like a drum solo. It was like a brrrr, and then like it just kept going. It just kept going and going. And here's the thing, in that situation, we all do the same thing. What do? You shut up immediately. Right? Like the second it happens, you're like, nobody can know I'm here. And you become the quietest you've ever been, right? If you're like me, I am seriously, I'm like a ninja with it. My feet are up on the seat. I'm not breathing. I won't even leave the stall, because what if I leave and she leaves at the same time? Like, if we make eye contact, it's over. I'm gonna laugh. I mean, I've already seen her shoes. Her cover's blown. So here's the thing, I am acing this situation. Acing it. Until the little girl in the last stall completely blows it for me. Because she goes, ew! I can't. I laughed so hard. Because I'd been holding it in, so it was like a... It was so bad. And then I farted because all the excitement. I was like, what's going on? Jesus. It just happened. See how we all came together on that one, though? Like, at first, you guys were like, no! Now you're like, yeah! Best part about that joke is now, whenever that happens, you're gonna think of me. You'll be in the bathroom and that'll happen, and you'll go, Gina. You're welcome. You're connected. I'm telling you, I wish I could get away with half the stuff that kids do. I really wish I could. I can't. You know how I know? Because I've been in situations. Here's the first one. I'm on the subway, New York City. This guy reaches into my purse. He grabs my makeup case. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm about to get mugged by a drag queen. It is on. Because they're big and they can fight, you know what I'm saying? So then he grabs my purse and he goes, I'm gonna hit you. So then I said, if you hit me, you better knock me out. Which was stupid. Don't say that to somebody who's stealing your purse. Don't do that. Because that was his plan. He wasn't waiting for my go-ahead on that one. So he hit me, he punched me. Don't worry, I can take a punch. I went to public school. So he hit me and I took it. I don't know if it was the adrenaline, but did you ever have one of those balloon clowns as a kid? It was literally like, nope. Nope. I eat those.
My parents have been married a long time. They've been married for 43 years, which is amazing, right? Yeah. I love you guys. Wow, this is cool. I've never loved honking before, but now I love it. Thank you, thanks. They've been married a long time. I always wonder, what makes a happy marriage, and sometimes I think it's just when the men almost never speak, right? Because they just get in trouble, like they want to be nice, they have good intentions, it comes out all wrong, right? I think my parents have been married that long because my dad loves my mom, and because he doesn't talk and she talks a lot. And I also think it's because my dad can't leave my mom because he's in a wheelchair. I mean, he loves her, but where is he gonna go, right? He'll get down the ramp, he'll be like, can you come pick me up? I've changed my mind. I'm not gonna run away with the nurse. He has MS, it's a neurological disease, and I found out they had an MS walk. And I was like, that just seems very disrespectful to me. So I went on it because I was like, I just want to see what all the fuss is about. And it's just thousands of people showing off what they can do. It's just very rude. My dad hates that joke too, and I'm always like, sorry, Dad, but when I have an idea, I run with it. Unlike some people I know. So you're just gonna have to roll with it. I do think it's important to still laugh at stuff like that, right? Because sometimes I'll do that joke and there'll be someone in the audience in a wheelchair and everyone will look at that person like, are they laughing? Like, we can't laugh if they're not laughing. And I'm like, you better fucking laugh, because otherwise it ruins the whole joke for everybody. And one time I did that joke and there was a guy, laughing hysterically. He was in the corner and he was in a wheelchair and he was laughing. And I pointed it out. I was like, see, he's laughing, right? Right, sir, you're laughing? And he's like, yep, I'm laughing. And after the show, he came up to me and he thanked me. And I said, you weren't offended at all, right? And he said, nope, wasn't offended at all about the wheelchair jokes. I was just offended that you called me sir because I'm a woman. I was like, you just can't win. You just can't win. No matter what you do, you're gonna offend somebody. My dad probably makes fun of himself more than anybody. Like, one time I was home, I was visiting my parents, and my mom was telling me I was very difficult as a kid. She was like, it was always like walking on eggshells with you. And my dad was sitting in the corner, and he just goes, I wish I could walk on eggshells. But yeah, I think we've gotten a little bit too PC, and I think that it's a problem, right? Because the problem is you're taking away the person's ability to laugh at themselves, which we really need, right? And I have a story I'll tell you, which to me really captures what I mean about being a little too PC, which is I have a friend who has 2 hook hands. And you guys got silent, but maybe somebody in the back who was brave was laughing at that, right? Someone in the back might have been laughing. And that's okay. It's okay if you laughed at it because it doesn't mean you hate people with hook hands, right? It just means you didn't think I was going to say hook hands. That's all. That's all that means. So the first time I met the guy, I also didn't expect a hook, right? It sort of, kind of took me aback because he shook out the hook. And I didn't see that coming. So I was like, what do I do in this situation? I'm not sure. I've never been here before. Do I shake the hook? Do I not shake the hook? Do I hang my jacket on it? I'm not sure. So in the heat of the moment, I just decided I'm just going to pretend everything's fine, right? Just bottle up my emotions. I shook the hook, said, nice to meet you, and I walked away. And then I had a friend who was a comic, and he was on the same show with me, and then he got the hook. And when he got the hook, he goes, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? You gotta warn a guy. You gotta warn a guy before you just shove your cutlery in his face. And I was like, that was the right reaction. That's how I wish I had reacted, right? Because immediately the guy just looked so at peace, thank God someone's acknowledging the reality of the situation, not bottling it all up inside, pretending everything's fine. And we all had a good laugh and got on with it, right? So I feel like the moral of the story is if you're ever uncomfortable, just freak the fuck out, make a big scene, and just get on with it. Because we're all human, right? We're all human. We all have flaws. We have to be able to laugh at ourselves, That's what I think. I'd say the thing that I battle is depression. And I think that depressed people have had, I think it's been a hard time to be depressed right now, right? Are you guys, they're clapping. If you're a depressed person, this has been an even harder time because we used to be special. Right? We used to be special. You could call up a friend and be like, I'm so depressed. And your friend would be like, why, Erica? Tell me, what's going on? And now you call up a friend, you're like, I'm so depressed. And they're like, yeah, Erica, everybody's depressed. And you're like, no, but I was depressed before all this happened, so I get extra points for that. I'm doubly depressed now. And your friend's like, no, Erica, we're all flatlined with the depression. We're all equally depressed now. The entire world is depressed. You're not special anymore. And then you're like, great, now I'm even more depressed. Sometimes I get so depressed I just want to lie in bed all day. But then I'm like, but is it lie in bed? Or is it lay in bed? Right? Because a chicken lays an egg, but sleeping dogs lie. So do chickens lay and dogs lie? And then I'm like, okay, it's definitely time to get up. But you're not supposed to end a sentence with a preposition. So then I'm like, I might as well just stay in bed. But is it might as well or is it may as well? I think what I'm trying to say is I'm a really good lay. Or is that just a really big lie? I think this has also been a hard time for celebrities, right? Celebrities are having a hard time right now because we're all learning how boring they really are. Like, I watched Sharon Stone's stay-at-home video when the whole thing was happening, and she was like, stay at home. They told me to tell you to stay at home. And I was like, is this helping? Like, really? Like, is there a guy named Greg in Idaho who was about to leave the house, and then he watched Sharon Stone's video and was like, stop everything, everybody out of the minivan, we're not going to Costco. Like, I just don't see how that was helping anything. I think we should just start making videos where we just go, stay offline.